What's up, YouTube? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. So tonight we're going to talk about a topic that actually was suggested by one of our subscribers or someone who left a comment. Discussion about when you're doing keto, do you need to do all natural foods, grass-fed foods, organic foods. So we kind of been talking about that and decided we would talk about it. We are talking from our perspective of how we've done keto and had success with keto. So we're just going to go from there, and
we're just going to discuss amongst ourselves.
We're going to discuss, and then ultimately you do what you need to do for you, but we're going to talk about what we've done. So when we started keto, we have not been of the all grass-fed, all organic, farm-raised.
I have purchased those items before.
Yeah, we have, but we don't
eaten like grass-fed beef before, but I find it's very lean.
Yeah,
it's usually very lean.
Yeah, we didn't start keto with that as thinking that was how we had to do it or how we were going to do it. That probably could have been just from a cost perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
We just didn't see the need to do it that way.
And when I have had grass-fed beef, it has been at a discount.
Yeah. So and we've bought grass-fed beef and farm-raised eggs, but it has never been something that we have felt like we had to do on keto, because I guess our approach was, okay, this is what we eat, and we didn't think that the problem was that we weren't eating grass-fed or farm-raised. We didn't think that was what the issue was. While we were in the state that we were in when we started, we knew that the issue had to do with carbs,
right, and not food quality,
and not food quality. So that's kind of how we approached it. And I know there's a lot of. I remember when I first. So you started keto before I did, and then I kind of joined you later. And one of the books that I read was, and this is actually not. I read the book about the bulletproof diet. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dave Asprey, right?
Dave Asprey, right. And I read that book. Not really even sure why I read that book in relation to keto. It may be kind of
suggested or something.
It may be kind of a variant in some aspects related to keto. But I read that book, and he did talk about food quality and grass-fed and organic this, and he talked about the importance of it. But again, when I read that, I was reading, I guess, from the perspective of just trying to research and understand what I was about to get into.
Well, for every doctor and or nutritionist, practitioner of the ketogenic lifestyle, supporter of the ketogenic lifestyle, for every one of those that is a full-on proponent of everything organic, everything grass-fed, everything pasture-raised, you have just as many doctors and nutritionists and practitioners that support the ketogenic lifestyle, that practice the ketogenic lifestyle for themselves and for their patients, that do not eat that way, that do not support that.
Right.
They don't come out and say, "Oh, we're totally against grass-fed this" or whatever.
Yeah,
but
and that's not.
They make it known that that's not essential.
And that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that at all. I mean, if you can afford or choose to eat like that, because
even if you prefer that taste,
if that's what you prefer, then that's what you should do.
Right.
But I don't think that you should feel like you have to do that in order to be successful in the keto diet. So I guess that's ultimately what we're saying is, we know for a fact that you don't have to do that to be successful on the keto diet, or even to live the keto lifestyle. We know that because we're proof.
Right.
I think I was at work today. I was going into my office, and I don't know this person from anybody. And the person was a larger person. He was walking really slow, and I was thinking about this topic. So because we talk a little bit before we do these keto conversations, and I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking, and I don't know this guy from anybody. he could be a freaking bazillionaire for all I know. I don't know him. But I was thinking, if I was going to talk to somebody, just a normal person, about keto, I want to expose keto to the masses of people and make it available to the masses of people, because I think that's what needs to be done. Because there's a lot of unhealthy,
your everyday Joe.
Yeah, there's a lot of very unhealthy people that are overweight, that are pumped up on medications, and a lot of the issues could be solved by just changing their diets. Right. And so I wouldn't want to, approach just normal folks, which I think keto should be exposed to just normal people.
It should be accessible to the
everyone.
Public, right?
And so I was thinking about that when I again I don't know that person from anybody. I don't know anything about him, but I was thinking, if I were to have a conversation with him or someone else, I would just talk about, if I was talking about keto, I would just talk about, okay, you need to lower your carbs, and you need to, increase your fat intake and lower your carbs intake.
That should be number one.
Right. I wouldn't be talking about,
not that food quality is not important,
right,
but when it comes down to it, food quality versus carb quantity is what we're talking about, right?
Right. Exactly. Food quality versus carb quantity.
Right. Because that's number one.
That is number one.
Yes.
And so if you have to do keto and you're in a situation where, because I know when we first started, I still was eating out, and I still eat out on keto.
And lots of ketogenic doctors do. Yeah. They go down to the food court in their medical plaza, and they have a bunless cheeseburger. Yeah. Dr. Andreas, the diet doctor.
The diet doctor guy.
Dr. Westman. He goes down and he gets, ketogenically friendly Chinese food, or they get bunless burgers.
Right.
These are doctors. These are people who have patients.
And they're practicing keto as a lifestyle.
And they're teaching and practicing with their patients this lifestyle. And to them, carb quantity is more important. Yeah, maybe you don't want to eat McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it should be ruled out if you're going to do keto or not do keto because you can't get something that's organic. That would just be a shame. That would be terrible.
Exactly. And we just don't believe that that's how keto should be approached. It should be accessible to everyone.
Right.
And you should be able to do it however, whichever means you have to be able to do it. Because keto doesn't have to be that hard. Even what you eat on keto doesn't have to be that difficult. It can be very simple. It can be very simple.
It's better if it's simple.
Yes, we do recipes, and that's.
But I also try and make my recipes as simple as possible.
Yeah, but we do the recipes, and that's to give people options to be able to continue from one week to another week and to live keto as a lifestyle. But you don't have to, because even we don't eat like that every day.
We eat a lot of the same things.
Yeah, if you look at our what we eat videos.
Part of the difficulty, I think, sometimes with filming those is
we're eating the same stuff.
What we're having again.
Yeah, we're eating the same stuff all the time.
It's still ketogenic.
And so, like tonight, we did the first of the
summer salad series,
and wow, we had a summer salad for dinner with some cheeseburger. But of course, it didn't have a bun.
Nope.
But
it was not grass fed.
And it wasn't grass fed.
Interestingly, I like to listen to the Ketogenic Girl podcast, and she actually lives in like the Czech Republic or Hungary or something. She lives somewhere overseas in Europe.
Oh, okay.
And she says that they actually advertise as a perk, as a bonus, grain-fed meat, because in Europe, all the meat is grass-fed, because that's how they do things.
Okay.
So over there, it's like, look at our fancy grain-fed, grain-finished beef, because it's so yummy and fatty and tasty.
It's a perk.
It's a perk. So,
and we're over here in our country, we're trying to get
people the opposite. Yeah.
People are trying to ban us from eating meat, and believe I just said that out loud because it's more real.
Terrible.
It's more real than you realize.
Terrible.
There are people who don't want us to eat meat.
Big Brother is trying to GMO meat.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Big Brother, because there's a lot of money in meat.
It's wealthy people.
But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But again, it's more important for your quantity carbs versus the quality of
keeping carbs low is number one.
Yeah, we listen to now. I was thinking about. I know there's a video on YouTube from Dr. Westman. If you don't know who Dr. Westman is, he is, what's his first name? Eric Westman.
And he's kind of taken over where Atkins left off.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but yeah, he can't.
He's written like some updated Atkins style books,
right? He has, but he's doing his own thing as far as. So he's a physician.
And he's also been the president of like the Diabetic Association.
Yeah, but he's at Duke University. He's a practicing licensed physician who teaches and gets his patients to go on the low carb ketogenic lifestyle. And so this is a person who, again, this is what he does. This is what he is. He uses keto as a treatment to help people that are obese.
And he's also been practicing it himself for almost 20 years.
Yeah, for 20 years. And so, there's again, just like Sarah mentioned earlier, as many people there are on YouTube or online, that's all for grass-fed.
There's prominent different doctors online that people I subscribe to that I like to watch.
Sure, I like Thomas Delar. I like
Dr. Berg, but they're all about everything's organic, it's pasture-raised, it's everything's from a farmer's market, and that's great and that's wonderful. But number one, they're doctors. They make doctor money, probably.
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if we were making doctor money.
I would still.
I don't know if we were making doctor money if we would change anything that we're
probably
doing.
Not.
I don't know that we
probably
would,
not.
because I just didn't see. Again, when I started keto, I didn't see it as something that should be this exclusive thing that is out of reach for people. Just regular folks. Right. I think the masses of people need to be able to do keto, know about keto.
And once again, it's personal choice,
and experience keto. Yeah, it is personal choice. And so again, if you can do that, if you can do those things and knock yourself out, go for it. But if you can't, you shouldn't feel
like you can't do it at all.
Right, you shouldn't feel somehow that you can't do it or that you can't be effective, because again, we're living proof, and there's a lot of people that are living proof that you don't have to have, fancy grass-fed, farm-raised products.
I guess it could be said that, if you have the choice between, say, like a chicken thigh and a hot dog, maybe you'd choose the chicken thigh. You know, if we're talking about processing, as far as processed food quality versus, carb quantity.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe work your way around to maybe some more natural choices in meats and cheeses and stuff. I can maybe get on board with that.
Yeah, and well, you said about hot dogs. So we have that. We have the one. What is that? The chili hot dog thing.
But I use an all beef hot dog.
Yeah, and so we have a few recipes. Whether we have that one, and every once in a while we'll get a comment about how bad hot dogs are. But
I love salami and I love pepperoni.
Yeah, but we made that with the best version of a hot dog we could find.
The lowest carb, the purest meat.
Exactly.
Maybe it's not our Oscar Mayer organic, but it is 100% beef. No fillers. Those kind of things.
So even though we weren't, like I said, had an organic hot dog, is there such a thing as an organic hot dog?
I'm sure there is a natural casing and.
Really?
Oh yeah. Kosher and there's all kinds of fancy.
We didn't go that far, but we found the best hot dog that we could find.
We have 3 children under the age of 11. I mean, we have to be realistic. For our personal family experience, we can only go so far. If we want everyone to eat something, this is our version of keto.
I guess if we don't want the kids to eat,
Yeah, that's right. If we don't want, maybe we should not do anything yummy. Totally kidding, people. We're totally kidding.
No, we're joking. But again, I never thought when we started keto that we had to do that. I thought the whole point was get your carbs under control.
It is. It should be.
And that's really the crux of it. Get your carbs under control, and when you do that, then the rest of it the results will follow, and you'll start having the benefits of keto.
Well, and it's
hard. But I didn't feel like you had to do those other things that people talk about.
Well, and it's hard because you're going to be judged no matter what you do. Yeah. I mean, let's be realistic. We put ourselves out here because we have a food-based channel on YouTube, and we've chosen to put ourselves out here, but you're going to be judged. People are going to make a comment no matter what you do. Your family members might make a comment, your coworkers, your mom, I don't know. Somebody is always going to have something to say about what you're eating or not eating. So, you're going to have to, it's going to have to come down to personal choice.
Yeah.
And what you're comfortable with.
I don't know. I think you probably get more flack from folks who are quote unquote doing keto.
Yeah, well, you went to take a picture of your food last night when we were eating at the buffet, and you were like, I know I'm going to be judged for this plate of food, even though there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I did say that. I said
that.
Because we're going to be judged, but that's because we put ourselves out there.
We put ourselves out there.
And we make these videos. But I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, when I'm just around normal people who are just carnivores, nobody's judging my food. I mean, they think it's weird that I don't eat a bun with my burger.
Which is odd.
People think that's odd, but I rarely get any comments. People will comment if I eat something that they think might not be keto.
Which is so hilarious since they don't know nothing about it. They don't know anything
about it, but if I eat something that they think that
is that really low carb?
Right. Then that's when I might get a comment from just normal folks. We get more criticism online than from anybody we know. But anyway, like Sarah said, you're going to be judged for whatever, and it needs to be about you. It needs to be about you, what you can do,
what you enjoy. I mean, you want to enjoy this lifestyle. You don't want it to be so onerous that it's like a drudgery. Oh, I don't want to eat because it's so difficult.
Yeah.
You want to just be able to eat food that tastes good, that is good for you, and is going to help you reach your goals.
Yeah.
And if that's a hot dog one day, then you just do it.
Yeah, and if that's what you need to do, then do it. I was thinking about, there's a podcast, and I'll try to figure out how to link it. It's from, what is it, the Keto For Normies.
Oh, podcast. It's the Keto. It's Matt and Megan.
Over at Keto Connect. It's their podcast, Keto For Normies, and it's an interview with
Dr. Westman. Because I think at Low Carb Denver. Either Low Carb Denver or Low Carb Breckenridge, somewhere in Colorado, he was a speaker, and they attended that.
Okay.
And he gave his talk was about this, about keto food quality versus carb quantity.
Yeah.
And so they interviewed him and talked about it.
I thought it was a good podcast. Mm-hmm. I don't normally listen to their podcast, not for any particular reason. I don't listen to a lot of keto podcasts.
You don't listen to a lot of podcasts anymore because you're not commuting. I think you don't listen as often as you used to.
I don't have the commute.
I listen more because I have the commute now.
Yeah, but my focus is also kind of gone a different way. It's not that I don't still think keto is important. It's important, but it's just...
I'm more of the podcast
You're
listener.
more of the podcast. But anyway, it's a good podcast, good information. And one of the things that in that interview with Dr. Westman, he talked about is how he will, when he initially starts people... they give them a basic list of foods that they can eat on keto, but then it's in these follow-up sessions that he has with his patients, that's when the customization comes, and he can start working with people where they are, what they can do, what their background is, their social economic background,
and that's a huge part of it.
And then he can start to work with them to customize how they can be successful on keto. So this is a doctor that this is what he does, and and he realizes that it's more important to get your carbs under control and to have the carb quantity under control versus being hung up on the quality,
and that can come later if you choose.
Yeah, it can. And again, we're not saying that you need to eat junk all the time.
No.
But if you have to start there, that's fine. But as you learn how to do keto, then you can figure out, okay, well maybe I can do a rotisserie chicken and make so many meals out of it, or maybe I can do, you can learn how to
economize.
Right, economize and make choices
with some more whole foods.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that if you can't do that right away that you shouldn't start keto.
Right. If you need to get a bag of frozen green beans from Walmart instead of getting, fresh green beans from Whole Foods or the farmer's market.
There's something wrong with frozen green beans?
Not in my opinion.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was something wrong with it.
Actually, those frozen green beans are fresher than those green beans at Whole Foods.
We just bought the
because they freeze them right there.
Yeah,
they don't ride a truck for 3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. I didn't realize there was something wrong with frozen green beans. Okay. Yeah. We just bought it back. Anyway, so again, we want to just encourage you to, keep on doing what you need to do to be successful on keto.
And don't let food quality hold you back from starting this way of life. Yeah. If that's a concern for you, don't. You are so much better off if you have to eat hot dogs in order to start the ketogenic way of life because that's all you can afford. Or if you have to eat at McDonald's every day. I'm not recommending it. But you're better off with that way of life still than practicing the standard American diet.
Good point. Because again, it's all about getting those carbs under control, getting them low,
keeping your insulin
low, getting your carbs under control. Yep. And so, again, start where you are and move forward. Don't get hung up on all the noise because there's a lot of noise, and there's nothing wrong with the grass-fed, pasture-raised. There's nothing wrong with that side of the coin either. There's nothing wrong with that.
Did you know, this is just a side note, that all beef is grass-fed?
No, that's going to be a controversial topic. But go ahead.
Until the last quarter of their life, so we're talking 3 to 4 months, is when they go to the stockyard.
And then you told me where we heard this from.
Peter Ballerstedt. He's an expert in ruminant animals. Those are animals with hooves, like cows, where we get our beef from. All animals start out grass-fed. They all start out in a pasture. You drive down the road, you see those cows, they all start out that way. They only go to the stockyard towards the end of their life. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Well, I didn't know that. But
Research it.
I do remember him he was one of those big...
He's actually like the head of farming studies at the University of Oregon, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
But he was actually in one of those videos.
He was in the Magic Pill.
The Magic Pill. I remember him from the Magic Pill.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our talk for this week. Hopefully it's helped someone or kind of give you some food for thought. We'll put some links in the description. I'll put a link to the Keto For Normies podcast. It was very interesting. You don't have to have a podcast app to listen to it.
Nope.
You don't have to.
You can just Google it.
Yeah, you don't have to be subscribed to their channel. You can just listen to it. But it was a very informative interview with Dr. Westman, and I'll try to find the video from that low carb conference that he spoke at and link to that as well because I know that's on YouTube as well. But anyway, if you're new here, this is our Keto Conversation segment. We do these every Wednesday. We do new recipes every Sunday. And probably twice a month we do the What We Eat On Keto videos. And so consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as part of our ketogenic family. And we hope to see you back here next week. All right, so have a great rest of the week, and we will talk at you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Peace.